Let's bring more information on the use of the treatments given to Esther. These two things were put in play there.
The female biology is oriented towards selection and not indiscriminate acceptance.
There are recent studies that have confirmed that the egg sends chemical signals to the sperm it wants. And it's not even about which sperm gets to the egg first. You can have lots of marriage proposals, but none of them are anything like your ideal man just because of the environment you find yourself. As a woman, you define your value, then people would follow suit. Nobody would rate you higher than you rate yourself. No one. You don't go to a supermarket and tell them you think an item is more valuable, so you'd love to pay more. You have to stand on business with anything concerning your value. Men also do this thing where they try you to see what you would do. They want to see how much you can take. So when you do nothing but yell, then they'll know that's all there is to you. Why would I compete to be number one in the life of someone that claims to love me? For me, my access is my power. So are you really going to trade your precious 20s for social media cruising or for being shy or promiscuity? When your self-esteem is low, you're going to accept the barest minimum from a guy. When your self-esteem is low, you're going to allow people walk all over you. So yesterday I was meditating and I thought about femininity, and a thought came up relating femininity to flowers. So I actually did a bit of research on flowers. My mission for this year is to be an all-round person. In the sense that I want to be accomplished in every way. I want to look my best physically. I want to be mentally healthy, emotionally grounded, and financially much more secure. So here's what I found from my research, which is really interesting. Flowers are mainly for reproduction, especially the flowers in a fruiting plant. They are the reproductive faction of plants. What they do is that they perform sexual reproduction, genetic diversity, and species continuation. Everything about a flower's color, structure, scent, and timings serves this purpose. So now coming to a woman, right? A woman is the faction of humans that reproduce, and everything about your body is to serve the purpose of reproduction. You have your face that attracts someone that would come and reproduce with you, a worthy mate, and there's your body, specially designed to reproduce. In fact, everything ranging from your structure, your color, even your scent, right? That is where pheromones come in. Flowers have this color that attracts pollinators to them, and pollinators are agents of reproduction. Meanwhile, they also have the scent that draws in all these pollinators to them. Because if they're not smelling nice, looking good, there would be hardly any good pollinators. For women, I feel like it works this way too. Your structure, which is your shape, you should keep your body, regardless of its type, in check. Your appearance, your skin should be attractive. And I'm saying this in the biological sense, right? And then you'll scent. You might not know how you smell until people start talking about it. So maybe you should ask your friends to honestly tell you how you smell. Because sometimes you won't realize you do not smell good because you're used to the smell. Parts like your armpits have more susceptibility to smell. And it's not just about bathing, that there are extra measures to take to smell much better, especially being a woman. There are women you come close to and you just feel so good around them because of how they smell. It instantly makes them more attractive. Sometimes the reason why low value men are always trying to talk to you is because they feel like they can talk to you because of how you've presented yourself. Although it's not something to measure your worth by, but you should assess these things from time to time. When you're well packaged, when you are well groomed, you'd realize that those kinds of men would reduce how much they try to talk to you. But know that men have audacity. They are wired to have audacity. And there are certain men that have this mentality that as long as you're a woman, you're beneath them, regardless of your status. So they'd want to humble you. So my opinion is when you put much more effort into yourself, your appearance, your scent, your body, and even your mind, you would attract better. Speaking of flowers, each flower is uniquely designed to attract a particular type of pollinator. So the kind of person you are determines the particular type of men you attract. And this isn't just physically. It also includes mentally, that is what you feed your mind. It also applies emotionally, and then your environment. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. So Moon, do you have something to say about this? Yeah, you're right. Like, smelling nice, even for men, is very attractive. That's why I'm a fan of applying sweet smelling oils on your skin and bath water. Something about not just your perfume, but your skin really smelling nice is very chic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know some women on Instagram that base their whole content around what you put into your body.
There are drinks that can make you smell better from within. Some deodorants contain aluminum, and that is not really healthy. So it's important to get a very good antiperspirant that won't darken your underarm. Also, a sweet smelling oil. You can actually curate your unique scent yourself by combining scents. A sweet smelling, calm, feminine scent. Not the strong ones, because strong scents can come off as masculine. And then just a perfume that you can use. All these scents come together to give you your own unique smell. Kind of like the way Coco Chanel made her Chanel number 5. You know, before Coco Chanel, scents that were sold were like, maybe this orchid scent. This one smells like roses.
Yeah.
They usually smell like a particular thing, but she mixed them and made her own unique scent. And she added artificial ingredients too.
Smell good as a lady, even as a man. Just try to smell really nice.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like it increases attractiveness.
Yeah.
So I was checking out the Book of Esther because they were trying to attract a king and they had to prepare for a year to have what it takes to attract a king, right? Now, the first criteria was their modesty. So they already probably had the character.
Right.
Now, my major point of focus is this. The next part says, before each young woman was taken to the king, she was given the prescribed 12 months of beauty treatment, which is 6 months of oil of myrrh, 6 months of special perfumes and ointments. This was like scented oils. So I want to use the message version to provide more context. So it says, right off, he started her beauty treatment, ordered special food. So each girl's turn came in to go into King Xerxes after she had completed the 12 months of prescribed beauty treatment. 6-month treatment with oil of myrrh, followed by 6 months with perfumes and various cosmetics. Now let's bring more information on the use of the treatments given to Esther. These two things were put in play there. Cosmetics, that is to make them look fresher, and scent. They literally treated them to perfumes. Now, it was not something that they'll just rub and, like you said, wear off after a while. It was something that their skin was emitting naturally. So that's why I said I dig with people who do floral milk baths, because it helps your smell. Like naturally, you just smell flowery. Like you literally prepare a bath where you infuse flowers like roses, jasmine, lavender, and you put sweet smelling oils inside of it, and you sit inside the bath and just soak it in. So you kind of absorb that smell into your skin, and it also makes your skin softer and definitely more glowy. When you do it long enough, you start to just smell like flowers. And if you can't afford it, you don't have to stress, because there are some body washes that also help. Get a good body wash and get a sweet smelling oil, and you can get a musk or body mist. Just curate your own scent.
That's right.
So the functions of those oils and treatments in the Book of Esther is for physical purification and hygiene. It was to cleanse the skin, reduce bad smell, and maintain health. And the myrrh that was mentioned multiple times there softens the skin, heals blemishes. It makes your skin softer and healed. And they were also taught how to be refined and elegant. And then smell mattered for attraction in ancient culture, which is actually still the case right now. And your skin should be even and blended. I feel like this is something that really separated women in the past from men. Women were not going out. Women were not doing hard work. Right now, women are having more scars because we are outdoors like men. So the second thing I'd like to bring up is this. Flowers do not bloom all the time. They don't just randomly bloom. Flowers bloom when they have sufficient resources. So if the resources inside of them is not enough for them to bloom, they would not bloom. Secondly, the environmental conditions have to be favorable. And lastly, they bloom if reproductive success is likely. You actually look your best when you have enough resources to take care of yourself and when you are in the right environment. The truth is that no matter how much you want to consume femininity content or whatever, you'll probably never get to your peak femininity unless you have the resources to actually do that. In Esther's case, Esther was privileged that someone
took it upon themselves to make sure it was possible.
Yeah.
So you have to actually have sufficient resources for you to get to your peak. And also you have to be in the right environment. It could be your work environment. It can be your home environment. Your environment shapes you. Being around Raz people all the time would make you also Raz. It is more difficult to be feminine in such an environment because it's not normal there. If you're not in the right environment, you'd still be ending up with the same type of men you do not want to be with.
Yeah.
Because access and proximity also matters.
Yeah.
Sometimes no matter how good you are, you can have lots of marriage proposals, but none of them are anything like your ideal man.
Yeah.
Someone said that you can end up broke and married to the wrong person because you were in the wrong environment.
Yeah.
So environment is very important. Flowers also have soft and delicate tissues. If the tissue of a flower is too hard, pollinators would not want to breed there because it's going to stress them. Soft tissues feel nurturing and safe for them. Femininity goes with being soft and delicate. This doesn't mean you'd be helpless. There are things that rip you of your softness unconsciously. I was talking to my friend the other day and I said that before I started staying alone as a girl, I was way softer than how I became after I stayed alone. The current situation and circumstances of the world has forced women to actually make decisions like staying alone. But the thing with hyper-independence is that it rips you of your softness because you tend to want to hustle to feed and take care of yourself. Unlike when you're under the protection and the provision of your parents, there, you're not thinking of paying bills, they're protecting and providing for you. I feel like this is also part of an environment that maintains softness. So staying alone, I had to survive, I had to hustle, I was no longer under the protection of my parents, and I encountered hateful people that forced me to be combative. Unlike when I had my dad to protect me, naturally, I started losing my femininity. So it's easy to rest in your femininity when you're not out hustling seriously. But I'm not advising anyone to not work or try to get things for themselves because you would suffer for it. And this world has changed so much in a way that women cannot afford that luxury, especially when you're not from very privileged background. In my opinion, you can still retain your femininity even while being a career woman. I am a career woman and I am still feminine. This can be done by being conscious of it, be conscious of being professional and assertive when you need to be, and being soft and feminine every other time. It also helps you be feminine when you have a male figure around, like your dad, your brother, or a significant strong male figure in your life. I feel like the circumstances sometimes would make you hustle so much, especially when you do not have enough. But you're right, be conscious of it. And I also feel like you should also develop tough skin. Yeah, I will get to that point that you just mentioned, developing a tough skin. So the female biology is oriented towards selection and not indiscriminate acceptance. Our biology actually selects. And if you look at human biology, there are millions of sperms released by a man to compete for only one egg. Of course, some sperms die on the way, but you still get multiple sperms that get to the egg, and the egg then gets to select and fuse with whichever it chooses. There are recent studies that have confirmed that the egg sends chemical signals to the sperm it wants, and it's not even about which sperm gets to the egg first, but the one it opens up to fuse with. So it's also a feminine thing for you to not be dating around or allowing people have access to you indiscriminately. I've never seen a girl that's known for sleeping around that's deemed feminine.
Never.
That's a very unfeminine trait. The feminine is being competed for, even in the cases where we have twins. It's not two sperm that fertilize the egg, but one fertilized egg that divides. So it's only selecting one, not like it's fusing with multiple sperms to see which works best for it. So you not giving multiple men access to you is feminine. Also, having so many male acquaintances, not friends, acquaintances, in a way that you're always posting pictures of yourself, just hanging out with different guys all the time is not so nice. It gives a perception that you're very accessible, like all those guys have access to you. And some girls do this to be cool though, probably because the guys look cool and rich. Well, it gives the opposite result. You can have them, but don't post them every time. I'm speaking of acquaintances, not friends. Something happened very recently where a guy claimed to have slept with a girl and even posted a picture they took together in his house as proof. People believed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until she came out and cleared her name with witnesses that the whole thing died down. But her reputation never remained the same. It's very important that you are mindful of the guys you choose to take a picture with, especially when it's just the both of you. Even if you take such pics, don't post them.
Yeah.
Because these guys can just come tomorrow and say, I slept with this girl. And people would say, it's true. I saw her. She posted him. It's not bad when it's a group thing in a public place.
Yeah.
If you see a picture of a guy with one girl, it's not weird when you ask the question, are they dating? Actually, I rarely post guys. For me to post you as my guy friend, you must have posted me first. You must be really close to me. You must have earned it. And for birthday posts, I don't write too much publicly.
Yeah.
Definitely, I will make sure people who are special to me feel special on their birthday, but I'll write it in your DM. Another thing with posting, though, is posting about relationship, about how you hate men, about how you hate your ex. I feel like it's the most unfeminine thing to do.
Yeah.
Posting about how you hate men, about how men are scum, about how they broke your heart. And if you really claim to be decentering men, men shouldn't be the center of your posts. Femininity has to do with elegance and class. When you are elegant, you look much more feminine. And it's not elegant for you to go around talking about how you are the woman that does not give a damn about relationships or how you don't take disrespect from men. You don't have to come out and say you do not take disrespect from men. You can actually just not take disrespect from men.
Yeah.
This talking stage I had started moving weird.
Yeah.
And I never told him that, hey, I don't take disrespect. Maybe during the course of our conversations, I would have intentionally mentioned stuff that indicated it.
Yeah.
And yes, this is someone I already had feelings for.
Yeah.
But when he started moving disrespectfully, I didn't go there repeating myself and affirming that I wouldn't take any disrespect. I just went ahead and cut him off because he wasn't acting like someone that deserved me, my attention, and my access. And since he didn't value the access enough, I just took it away. I wasn't going to come and lecture him on how I wouldn't take disrespect. I just did not take that disrespect. It's fine if he's not choosing me first.
Yeah.
It's fine if he decides to have other people in his life. He's free to have his preference and make his choice. But what is not fine is him stringing me along with other people. That I won't be there for. I'd leave before he has the chance to do that. As a woman, you define your value, then people would follow suit. Nobody would rate you higher than you rate yourself. You don't go to a supermarket and tell them you think an item is more valuable. So you'd love to pay more, even if you think it is. And you have to stand on business with anything concerning your value. Be firm. Don't allow anything that'll compromise what you've defined.
Yeah.
So stop talking and start doing. Stop posting those dumb stuff on your story and start acting it out. Let your actions speak for itself.
Yeah.
It's not like you'd not be soft or you'd be an intolerant, unaccommodating person. But when it's obvious to you that this person is just out to disrespect and use you, then you should decide not to take it.
Yeah.
Because you teach people how to treat you. And it's not by yelling or crashing out online. It's by your actions.
Yeah.
Men also do this thing where they try you to see what you would do. They want to see how much you can take. So when you do nothing but yell, then they'll know that's all there is to you. There's no real consequence for their disrespect. Also, the way you handle conflict.
Right.
When you are a reactive person that is always shouting, it takes off feminine points from you. Sometimes you command more respect when you are less reactive, but firm, depending on your relationship with them. Tell them calmly, I don't like that. Some guys don't even care with all the shouting and reactiveness because they know that's all you can do. Just be calm, very calm, pass your information, say it once. And if the person repeats it, then you can cut access. Yeah. So with that talking stage, he wasn't calling me consistently. And I told him, I expect you to call me consistently if anything would work out between us.
Yeah.
And then he said, that's his bad habit and it's not his thing. And guess what?
Yeah.
I actually accepted it because I believed him. So I was calling him. Sometimes he wouldn't even pick up and he kept getting worse. And I started complaining all the time about him not calling me. Now, here's what happened. There was a time I called him because he hadn't called for a while. He didn't pick my call. I called again, no response, no callback.
Yeah.
And I just did not pick up his calls for days. And when I finally picked his call, he apologized. Now, something I took note of was that during the days that I ignored him, he was calling. This is someone that could stay a week without calling me. It was kind of like he was scared that I had decided to cut him off. So we went on to have a long conversation, and he just casually said something that struck me. I asked him how he'd do it if it was a proper relationship. He said, when he is in a relationship, he always calls his partner like every day. And I looked at myself and I was like, so it means this guy doesn't value me enough then. So he can actually call every day, but he just feels like I do not deserve to be called every day. And I took note of it and made a decision never to dial his number ever again. After that day, he started calling me, not every day though, but he started calling more. And when I finally blocked this guy, someone that claimed to find it very difficult to call was calling more than 5 times a day with different numbers, but then it was already too late. My point is, that thing that you're begging that guy to do, if he realizes he can't try it with you, he won't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe if from the beginning he was not calling and I asked him why he wasn't calling, he gave whatever reason he had. And I firmly told him that, hey, I wouldn't be able to start a relationship where you're not consistent. He would try me and he'd not call. And when I take it,
You've rewarded bad behavior.
exactly. And he continues. But when he does it again and you ignore him and not take his calls for a while, the day you start taking his calls, if he really likes you, he's going to step up. The last straw with this same guy was when he had a conversation with me. And I said, I found it weird competing for my own man's attention against another woman. He said, that's not true because women love competition as they want to be number one. I said nothing. I only smiled calmly and said, okay. And I just blocked him and he was shocked because he'd probably been dealing with women that had been competing for his attention. I did not.
Never.
And he got my message without me saying another word. Why would I compete to be number one in the life of someone that claims to love me? For me, my access is my power. The thing is, men test you to know how much you would take from them. Any form of reaction is a message to them. They register it subconsciously. The best thing to do if it's something you can't tolerate is withdrawing your energy. So when they do something bad and you shout and shout, they know they've stirred up something in you. You won't do anything else. You'd still be there. And some women keep threatening to leave. Like, if you do this, I'd leave. But they'll go ahead and do it, and yet they do not leave. And it's just like when a child does something. And you don't discipline the child. But when that child does something and you withdraw something they'd been enjoying, as long as that child isn't already spoiled, they'd register it as a consequence to their bad behavior. But it's very easy to come and say, leave or remove your energy. If it was really easy, every woman would be doing it. Women say these things, but if you look at their own lives, they don't do it. I think it's because we are naturally emotional. Yes. For example, with that guy, when I blocked him everywhere, it wasn't that I was now suddenly happy or enjoying it. I felt pain. I missed him. There were times I was stressed and I wished I could just, call him. There were times when I needed support and I wished and I could pick up my phone and talk to him about it, but I couldn't because I made a decision. So there are consequences of every action, even good actions. And the reason why it's hard for women to do it is that they do not want to bear the consequences. Because it's not going to only tell on the guy. It's also going to tell on you. The day I blocked this guy, I actually cried. I cried because I was mourning the loss of the friendship we had, at least. But you have to train yourself to actually make some really hard decisions. You have to train yourself not to be reactive because the easiest way out when someone triggers you is to actually react, to scream, to shout, be insultive. That's what you feel would best give you your desired result. In some parts of the world, when a child does something, parents go to such extreme lengths in disciplining their kids just to scare the child into not doing it again. Because they feel like it's harder to go through the process of raising the child in a healthy way. Some of the teachers that you love the most are those teachers that actually don't beat you up for the slightest misstep. Teachers that you hate are the teachers that have extreme reactions to the slightest provocation. It makes you want to rebel against that teacher. It makes you more stubborn. But with the other type of teachers, you don't want to disappoint them because you actually like them and care about their opinion of you. And then when you actually disappoint the teacher, they're just sad and disappointed, and you become disappointed in yourself. You don't want to do that again. I watched a video of this challenge they did with kids.
Yeah.
The kids are left with their favorite cookies and instructed not to eat it until the parent comes back.
Yeah.
This set of kids were given the same instruction, and after the mom left, the other kid was jumping right into it.
Yeah.
But the other child stopped her saying, "No, we're going to make mom feel bad, and I don't want that."
Yeah.
And the other child said, "Don't you want to eat it?" And he said, "I really want to eat it, but if I do, mom would feel bad."
Right.
So this wasn't out of fear, because some kids become rebellious after they stop fearing their parents. When they realize the worst the parent can do is beat them, they just do it and get beaten.
Yeah.
Because it's a fear they've been forced to overcome.
Yeah.
Their parents have been taking the easy way out.
Right.
And now they are getting an undesired outcome.
Yeah.
Because that child would do whatever the heck they want to do now without caring about what will happen. Sometimes they might not misbehave in the presence of their parents. They do it in their absence. So in essence, while your brain might be compelling you to scream and be reactive, you'd most likely get an unintended consequence from all that. So you're not even going to get the result that you intended to get. Now, the unintended consequence of you allowing that guy to treat you the way you don't want to be treated is that you're going to keep feeling like shit in the relationship. I am here today. I'm no longer talking to the guy, but I'm not feeling empty and angry and horrible because of his actions.
Yeah.
He's not coming around to ruin my day and make me lose focus in a day because of his actions, because his actions literally started controlling me.
Yeah.
I remember then when he talks to me happily, like when we have a conversation, I would have a very great day. And when he starts acting up, I would just shut down.
Yeah.
I would not be able to do anything. I would not be productive. My brain would be there. And it was just like a roller coaster of emotions that I was feeling. My emotions were not even tied to me anymore. My emotions were controlled by him. And it's okay for you to be vulnerable, right? That is why when you're choosing a partner, you have to choose one who is sensible enough to handle your emotions with care, because you're giving him that power over you.
Okay.
If I am treating you like this, you are going to feel this type of way.
Right.
If a stranger treats you badly, you don't feel it as much as you do when it's someone you love and cherish. So you're giving out that power, and you have to take it very seriously and not give it to just anyone that would abuse it. You are giving it to someone that would treasure it, that would be conscious that, okay, I'm not supposed to act a certain way. I'm not supposed to go and hang out with girls inappropriately because my partner is going to feel some type of way. I am not supposed to be cheating on my partner. I am supposed to call my partner. I am not supposed to be abusing her emotionally or even verbally, because I have the power to do that. So to take some kind of decisions regardless of your emotions is because you are going to suffer the unintended consequences of not taking that action. Let me give you an illustration of how this works. When I looked at the situation at the time, I was going to write my exams very soon. And I asked myself the big question: is it worth it to trade off my grades for what I was feeling for this guy? I considered the risk of losing all the time I had spent studying. And I decided that I couldn't trade that for that relationship. It wasn't a worthy trade. So if I were to do it, what was the guarantee that this guy was going to be with me? Zero. All the sacrifice would have been for nothing. And I'd have nothing to eventually fall back to. So you just have to weigh the trade-off. Is it worth it to escalate a trivial case for a woman or even a man to violently harass you? You know, some people would trigger you because they want to say really hurtful things to you, things that they really can't just say unprovoked. So I'm asking, is it worth it? Is it worth it for you to start being reactive? Or it's best to be feminine and walk away and address it later, or respond with calmness? True, though. So I think another aspect of being feminine is when you do the things you plan to do. I just want to say I want to start building habits every day now, not going on social media, doing what I intend to do in a day. There's an emptiness and this feeling you have when you know there's something you ought to be doing and you're not doing it, and it just keeps stacking. I just want to build the right habits this year, even if it's me getting 0.0001% better every day. If today I get 0.001% better, tomorrow the same thing, and I keep stacking it, I'll record tremendous growth and improvement at the end of the year. There's something I'd like to say regarding this. For me, mine wasn't this solid goal, but I didn't say that I want to do this particular thing. My goal for the first month of the year was just to build habits, which I think I've been successful on. And then there is something that I have started observing with myself. Like the other day, I planned to go to the market by 2. You know, that market isn't my favorite place to go to. But what I thought of was that the trade-off of not doing this is me rushing and going late to work. That trade-off was not worth it. So I stood up and I left. So to me, everything boils down to what you're willing to trade. Now, the trade-off of you waiting 5 minutes or 10 minutes more on your bed when you know you're supposed to get up and start getting dressed for church is you rushing through your makeup. You won't look well put together. You're going to be hurrying outside. And hurry is something that makes you look very unfeminine because it makes you look disorganized. When I wanted to read a book I had planned to read and I went to scroll social media instead, I ended up feeling bad. I started looking at the trade-off for the anxiety and sadness I got from scrolling social media. It was not worth it compared to the effort it'll take me to read that book. Always remind yourself of how you'll feel at the end of the day. Just remember the trade-off is not worth it. What are you trading it for? Sitting down idly. Your life is measured by time. So just scrolling social media all day interprets that you're trading your life literally for the thrills of social media or idleness, which is not even permanent because it's not real. But you'd eventually come back to the real world outside of social media, your reality. You're going to see the house that you don't like. You're going to see your unfiltered face that you've been planning to smoothen out. You're going to see your debt that's piling up. And you should see everything as an exchange. Is this exchange worth it? What am I giving and what am I getting in return? Is it worth it? Overall, I'll say building the right habits is best because then you can convert that boredom to something productive. When you've mastered the act of being bored, learn to be with boredom. We jump into social media every day because we're running away from boredom. We indulge those vices because we're avoiding boredom. There's never a time that you regret the time you put into something productive, but you always regret wasted time. This also applies to your immediate surroundings. The trade-off of you living a chaotic life is way more than the few minutes you'd spend fixing your house. That's what I'm learning right now. That's what the Holy Spirit is teaching me. Your time is invaluable. And trading off your time for social media pleasure is not worth it because you're going to go back to your real life and face your reality. So why not channel that energy into turning your reality into one you actually want to be in? So are you really going to trade your precious 20s for social media cruising or for being shy or promiscuity when you could do so much in it? It's not worth it. It's not a worthy trade. So I feel like that's something you can tell yourself. Just remind yourself that you're trading your life and your happiness at the end of the day. You're trading away my fulfillment and your self-esteem. Like you said, the compounding guilt deals a heavy blow on your self-esteem, and it's now going to reflect on other areas of your life. And when your self-esteem is low, you're going to accept the barest minimum from a guy. And when your self-esteem is low, you're going to accept that shitty job that does not deserve you. When your self-esteem is low, you're going to allow people walk all over you. So that trade-off of scrolling social media is actually affecting other areas of your life that you do not even realize. And it's not just worth it.
That's so profound. So on our next episode, we're bringing something really interesting. We'll be spilling the tea on the female bare minimum. Oftentimes, we talk about men doing the barest minimum. What about the barest minimum for women? We asked a couple of men with good values and they shared interesting points on this. So subscribe and hit the notification button so you'd see it when it drops. Trust me, every episode gets better. Stay blessed and feminine.
Bye.
Bye.